Okay, good morning, gentlemen, ladies, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes. Okay, first of all, I have a disclaimer, okay? For the naysayers, you know who you are, okay? This is not for your negative feedbacks, your negative replies, your negative suggestions, okay? Yes, I could go buy another cabinet. Yes, I could put this in a dumpster. Alright, this is not about that, okay? So, without further ado, this is a cabinet, red oak wood frame, and a particle board base, particle board base. Alright, we know particle board does not last forever if it's in even a slightest damp environment. So it looked good from the outside, so I picked it up and it was destroyed by a leak. So this is what happens to MDF and particle. Well, this is particle board, okay, but the same thing happens to MDF. It turns to sawdust. Okay, yes, I could go buy another one. I'm not going to do that. This is a DIY, do-it-yourself repair, should anyone decide to go this route. $5 worth of materials for repair, and say another base cabinet costs 75 bucks, alright? That's $70 savings, folks, just for a project where the back side will not be seen, which is the case of most cabinets. So the inside is good, the outside frame is good. Alright, this is particle board. This is what happens when it gets wet. That's a dirt dauber. Now, your skill sets may not involve what I'm going to show you. But anyway, this is what happens to particle board and MDF when it gets wet. This is just the discovery process. Alright? Okay, and again, this is particle board. So what we're going to do is just get the profile down to the original size. And I want to re-emphasize again, this is just a method, one method of how to do this, okay? There's a staple holding that together. So you want to remove all that stuff. What I'm going to do now is vacuum out all this loose particles with a shop vac. Hold on. Okay, before we get started, have all your materials on hand. I'm going to be using polyester resin, the kind used in automotive repair, boat repair, fiberglass, stuff like that. I'm not using epoxy. If you want to use epoxy, you can most certainly do it, alright? I just don't have any on hand that is quick curing other than little very expensive bottles, alright? So I get my polyester resin from a automotive store that sells automotive supplies. So 1 quart will last me a couple of years. But you need to stir it at least once a year, because like paint, it has sediments also. So you need to stir it at least once a year, and definitely before you use it, okay? So, here we go. Into a disposable cup, paper cup of your choice, pour in about, that's way too much, 3 ounces of polyester resin. The appropriate hardener that comes with the resin, but I always buy extra because I use more than the specified amount. 10 drops per ounce is the equivalent. Now if you're in hot area like I am today, 80 degrees, it's going to kick off pretty quick. So I'm going to use 10 drops per ounce. 1, 2, 3. Alright, there's 30 drops, right? I've been doing this for so many years that I know how much it's going to take. Like I said, you have all your disposable materials on hand. Have a clean work area. Harbor Freight. Alright, I buy them by the box full. Now what we want to do is saturate this junk right here. You want to saturate it, let it soak in. Now once this hardens, it's going to be as hard, if not harder, than real wood. You know, if this base plate was wood, we would not be having this project right now. So you want to saturate as much as possible. This is why you need a clean work area. So you don't drip this polyester resin, often called fiberglass resin. Resin, not rosin. Rosin comes out of a pine tree. This is resin, like epoxy casting resin, okay? Now what you want to do, alright, now the inside of this, these panels are MDF. The carcass is particle board, alright? MDF has also sustained a little bit of damage, but like I said, this is a prototype. I just need for it to hold together for about 6 months. Alright, I'm going to turn it over and get this side. Okay, we got some more resin mixed up. Stirred just like before. This is another 3 ounces. Now this cabinet is going to be screwed between 2 existing cabinets, okay? This is the back side. It will never be seen. It's a prototype. But if you want to make it permanent, you can certainly do that, because once this resin cures, it'll be rock hard. Like that. Now, I mentioned fiberglass, okay? I buy my fiberglass in bulk. You know, 10, 20 yards at a time. And some of it is like 14, 16 ounce, where it's very thick. Or you can peel it back, the layers, like this, and pull off what you need. So for this project right here, all we're going to do is reinforce this corner right here. It doesn't really need it, but I'm just showing you how to do it, okay? There's a lot of fiberglass tutorials on YouTube. But if you wanted to add a little extra oomph and get another 50 years out of your cabinet, this is how you would do it. But see, this is called fiberglassing, alright? This will reinforce the rotted part, so if there's any pressure from inside the cabinet, it will not affect the strength. I want to re-emphasize, this will not be seen, but you want to make it as neat as possible. Get your air bubbles out. And you can use this procedure for anything. Anything. I use it quite a bit. I'm a fiberglass alcoholic. A fiberglassaholic, whatever you want to call it. And another product that I have a fascination with is Bondo. So say for example, this was on the show side, right? You want to sand this down and make it presentable. Or you might want to laminate it with veneer, high pressure laminate, Formica, Wilson Art, stuff like that. You could do this, you could save the wood under it. Alright, let's tighten up this corner here a little bit. If you're one of those people that get paint all over you and cookie dough, flour when you're making biscuits and stuff, you might want to wear rubber gloves, okay? I've been doing this for so long that I'm immune. I'm immune to it. Alright, this corner right here, for all practical purposes, will never come undone again, ever. And like I said, the internal panel is MDF with the wood vinyl covering on it to make it look like oak. So now if there's any internal pressure, you know, like pots, pans, or whatever being pressed against this on the inside, this corner will not flex. It will not flex. Alright, now back to Bondo. Somebody way long time ago, back in the 1970s, said my nickname should be Bondo Billy Bob. Bondo Billy Bob. And he wasn't kidding either, because I like my Bondo. Alright, Bondo and polyester resin share the same basic ingredients. Bondo is polyester resin with a thickener. You use the same hardener as a curing agent in Bondo as you do fiberglass polyester resin. So if this was a showpiece, or not showpiece, but you wanted to smooth it down to either paint it or veneer over it or something like that, you would block sand this down till it matches your substrate underneath. And then if you want to like fill the air bubbles gaps, you Bondo over the top of it and like this. But this back here, from here, all this will not be seen. Alright, it's the bottom of the cabinet and behind the cabinet. It will not be seen. So for all practical purposes, this demonstration is over. And it took right at 6 ounces total. Alright, I'm going to clean this up and get back with you later after it cures. Okay, this is the fiberglass patch that has cured for like 24-30 hours. I sanded it down with a 40 grit orbital sander, and it didn't take much. This will never be seen. It's going to be anchored between 2 cabinets. You know, when you screw them together in face frames, you won't see this at all. So this is just another option to do it. Then I check for flushness, and there's no protrusion that's going to interfere with the mating of the cabinets together. Now this is the bottom. I'm going to throw, now that this is all cured, I'm going to put a coat of just regular Kills primer on it and the bottom, and then marry them up together. Okay, it's been a couple of hours, and put down a layer of primer and a layer of generic white door and trim paint just for give the wood a little bit more protection. Like I say, when these are married together, you will not see this. This is just another method of salvaging particle board and MDF that has rotted. Of course, your methods may be different, okay? This is not about you. This is not about you. This is how I would do it, just for a quick save. It's a prototype, ladies and gentlemen. It's a prototype, all right?